The Italian Wine Podcast is the community-driven platform for Italian wine geeks around the world. Support the show by donating at ItalianWinepodcast.com. Donate €5 or more and we'll send you a copy of our latest book, My Italian Grape Geek Journal, absolutely free. To get your free copy of My Italian Grape Geek Journal, click Support Us at ItalianWinepodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. Grazie mille. Welcome to the Italian Grape Geek podcast. Join us as we explore personal stories of travel and tasting with Italy's must-know grape varietals. Chart your own course with My Italian Grape Geek Journal, your personal tasting companion to accompany the series. Available now on Amazon. With thanks to Colangelo and Partners for their generous support with this project.
Buonasera a tutti from Nairobi, Kenya. Hello everyone. My name is Nixon Munga. I'm an Italian wine ambassador from Kenya. I'm a beverage consultant as well. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm so glad that you could join me. Now, a little bit more about myself. I'm in my 6th year in architecture, so a little bit deviating from what I do. I started my wine journey in the first year of architecture school. Then after some time, I decided to go professional about it. At some point, one of my mentors in the industry called Victoria Munyoki referred me to the program. And so far, it's really been fantastic. Enjoyed it. It's really been an eye-opener into the wonderful wines of Italy. So take a journey with me through Italy, through its famed vineyards and through its famed wines. Today we are starting with Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo, if you know your grapes or something about Italy, is just a darling of wines in Italy. So Nebbiolo is considered to be one of the greatest varietals in Italy, as well as one of the oldest that dates back centuries. It is famously referred to as grape that makes the king and queen of Italian wines, that is in the name of Barolo and Barbaresco. Nebbiolo obviously then makes some of the most famous and most sought after Italian wines like Gaia, Barbarescos, and Barolos. It is very native to the northwestern part of Italy and is mainly grown in the areas of Piedmont, Lombardy, and the Aosta Valley. It dates back so many centuries, and Pliny the Elder famously referred to it as Nebbiola, which in Latin based would be nebula, that is meaning fog. But then it's close to the Italian word nebbia, which means fog. If you go to the Barolo region during autumn or fall, you find, the valleys have this fog really in the morning, and that's what it refers to, or the bloom that is found on the grape. Now, it has synonyms to it as well. In the Alto Piemonte, it's referred to as Panna. In the Valtellina, it's referred to as Chiavenasca. In the Aosta Valley, it's referred to as Picotendro. And in the Val di Ossola, it's referred to as the Punent. It has several biotypes, but the most that are prevalent are Lampia, Miquet, and previously Nebbiolo Rosé was a biotype, but now it's been distinguished as an individual grape. Now, the Lampia biotype is the one that has taken root in Italy and the one that is mostly used in viticulture. Now, some characteristics of the grape Nebbiolo is early budding and late ripening. So that means that it needs a long growing season to fully mature. Then it also requires ample sunlight as well. So most of the time, geo training is preferred. And where you don't have ample sun or in cooler climates, then south-facing slopes are preferred. And in Barolo, those are referred to as the Bricco, or the top of the hill that are referred to as Sori in Barolo. And that is where you get the most luminance, you get the warmth that you need to ripen your grape. Then it's also important you have good canopy management for it to ripen properly. One thing that about Nebbiolo as well is that it has a low basal fertility, so it requires long canes, and it is very sensitive to spring frost and rain. It's quite resistant to botrytis, so it has no problems with rot, and it is very suited to clay and limestone soils. So Nebbiolo in particular expresses terroir very distinctly, and it exhibits subtle differences between whether be it vintages and different aging processes or different aging regimes that a winemaker may decide to incorporate. So with this, especially with the soils, I would advise if you want to see or if you want to put that to the test, then probably try Nebbiolo from different regions. Perhaps you could try a Nebbiolo from the Lange region, then maybe a Nebbiolo from the Roero, then a Nebbiolo from the Alto Piemonte, maybe a Valtellina Nebbiolo as well as a Val d'Aosta Nebbiolo, and you'll start to see the subtle differences of how Nebbiolo expresses itself differently because of climate, but also because of the soils. Now, when you have Nebbiolo, when you taste Nebbiolo, you'll find that it is very pale colored, and this is because of the high levels of unacylated anthocyanins, mostly up to about 50% cyanine and pionine, and these are unstable. And so you'll find that not have so much color to it. In fact, easily oxidizes. And the color can range from ruby to garnet. But then on the nose, it's very aromatic. You will find perfumed aromas of violets, roses, some balsamic herbs, some red fruits as well, of cherries most of the time, strawberries and cranberries. Also, Nebbiolo lends itself really well to barrel aging or oak aging, but then you want to do it in such a way that it does not completely take away from the main fruit components. Then as Nebbiolo ages, you'll find that it takes on these very haunting, savory aromas of earth and dried leaves. I would say almost sort of like autumnal leaves, some leather, mushroom, truffles, tar, and a really fantastic nose. Now, on the structure, it's most of the time high in acidity, high in tannin, and the body sometimes can be medium to medium plus. In very rare circumstances will you find that Nebbiolo is very full-bodied, but it happens. Traditionally, it is vinified as still wine, but over time you found that people are experimenting Blanc de Noir and also with spumante wines. For myself, my first experience with Nebbiolo was sometime back, I believe in 2021, when I first tasted one that is available in the market in Nairobi, and that is Vieti. I'll be honest with, I did not like it. It was so tannic, and I was just like, how can wine taste so? But then now that I have more experience and know I've embraced the grape variety itself, I've started liking it, I believe. And especially the aged ones that are a little bit softer and more complex, those are the kind of Nebbiolos that you want to go for. I would advise, especially for your Barolos and Barbarescos or your Lange Nebbiolo, those are the ones to be ideally at least 4 years old. In terms of benchmark producers, Pio Cesare comes to mind, that has been producing Barolo for quite some time, as well as Vietti. Bartolo Macchiarello comes to mind as well as Renato Ratti. But then also, when you think about pairing your Nebbiolo-based wines with your food, as I mentioned, it is high in acidity, highly tannic, so you need something that is quite fatty and can stand up to the tannin. And for that, I would say mature cheeses go really fantastic with Nebbiolo. Grilled red meats as well comes to mind. So if you have your barbecue or your grilled meat just on the grill. In Kenya, we have our Kenyan barbecue, which is nyama choma, and that is simply grilled meat, maize meal, which is commonly known as ugali. That is really fantastic, as well as meaty, oily fish would be really fantastic for pairing with Nebbiolo. So go to your wine shop, go to wherever you get your wines from, ask for a fantastic bottle of Nebbiolo, maybe a Barolo, a Barbaresco, say like a Lange Nebbiolo as well, or something like a Valtellina to really be fantastic. In the Kenyan market, ones that are available in the market, brands such as Prinoto, Vieti GD Vahia, as well as Produttori del Barbaresco. Cheers to enjoying some Nebbiolo and liking the Italian wine. Hello again. This time we are discussing Garganega, journey to the northeastern of Italy, where you find the picturesque region of Veneto, where Garganega is mostly planted. It is particularly prevalent in the Verona and Vicenza provinces and produces really fantastic Soave wines. So anytime you have a Soave wine in front of you, you know you have Garganega. So what really is Garganega? Similar to Nebbiolo, it is one of the oldest and most important varieties, and I believe about the sixth most planted variety. Being very important, then it also has a first degree relationship with many other varieties that are available in Italy, and I will say it has a parent relationship with them. These varieties include varieties such as Catarato in Sicily, Trebbiano Toscano in Tuscany, Albana in Emilia-Romagna, and many others varieties that are descended from Garganega. In Sicily, it is known as Grecanico Durato. So there are two distinct varieties. We have Garganega comune, which is equivalent or synonymous with Grecanico Durato, and that is the most grown Garganega. And then we also have Garganega grossa. Now, Garganega itself is very intolerant to winter temperatures, and its aromatic character is influenced by the climate and the soils in which the vineyards or the vines are grown. Now, pergola and Grillo training is commonly used, and as we mentioned, this is mostly designed to prevent the skins from too much sun exposure and heat, which may overstimulate the nori sopranoid. It is mid to late ripening, so that means that it needs a long growing season, and it can lend itself to different microclimates. It is very important with Garganega to control yield so that you have really fantastic wines. Now, the soils in the Soave region, as we mentioned, are very diversified, and that allows for different expressions of the wines that are produced. Two major soil categories. We have the alluvial and calcareous plains that will produce mostly simple and quaffable wines that are meant for early drinking. And the volcanic soil areas produce these really layered, structured, and concentrated age-worthy wines, which have complex aromas and have complex flavors as well as minerality. Now, Garganega is very versatile, can produce a various range of styles of wines, and that will range from dry to sweet, as well as still wines or spumante wine. In terms of the flavor profile, it can show yellow fruits in the range of golden pears, yellow melon, sometimes even a little bit of yellow lime or yellow lemon. It can be light to medium bodied, and depending on the style of wine, on how the winemaker decides to make the wine, it will express itself differently. The wines that are made in stainless steel or inert vessels will give light wines that have bright fruit notes, and the wines that are made in oak will give wines that have some nutty character to them, a richer mouthfeel, and a fuller body. Now, we mentioned that Garganega can produce some sweet styles, and the sweet styles that are produced are referred to as Recioto. Now, the Recioto wines will exhibit a more honeyed character to them, as well as a musky floral note to them. Now, my first experience with Garganega was during my early years of exploring wine. I think that was in my second year of campus, and I was having lunch with my friends, and the Garganega that we had was obviously a Soave. I would say that it was quite modest with very simple aromas of lemon, yellow apples. It was just there. But then, considering the amount of money I paid for it, which was about $5 back then, it was probably just what it was, simple wines. Now, I have since tasted some more complex and aged Soave that have displayed the magic of Garganega, such as the wines from Inama Winery, for example. Soave for us is readily available in the market, mostly still wines and other Recioto as well. So most of the ones that I see in the market are from Tomasi, Zonin, Cesari, Lenotti, and other producers. But then if you want really fantastic Soave benchmark producers that I would suggest you'd try is ones from Inama, really fantastic wines, Cantina di Soave, Anselmi, Kofele, as well as other. Now, what surprises me about Garganega is the versatility of it in terms of the styles of wine that you can have and also the pairing. When you have a spumante, you can have it as an aperitif. Samosas come to mind for the Kenyan market, which are really fantastic. And, the concentrated, complex, and heavier styles you can enjoy with richer dishes such as veal scallopini, or maybe you can enjoy it with pasta primavera and the likes. Or maybe I would say a creamy based pasta would really be fantastic. And to finish off your meal, then you can have a Recioto di Soave, I would suggest, for your desserts. And you can have that with your cheeses like classic Monte Veronese or Pandora di Verona, which is this sort of star-shaped bread that is mostly eaten in Christmas in Verona, the city of Romeo and Juliet. So cheers to having a Garganega, and I hope you do enjoy the one that you get. Cheers.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, for fascinating videos covering Stevie Kim and her travels across Italy and beyond, meeting winemakers, eating local food, and taking in the scenery. Now back to the show.
Hello again. I'm back with our adventure of Italy, and today we are in the south of Italy, specifically Sicily. Oh, beautiful Sicily. I have dreams about Sicily. I've not been to Sicily, but I've been to Sicily through a wine called, and through the grape that was used was Grillo. So for our discussion today, we are talking about Grillo, obviously from Sicily, as we've mentioned, and it plays a very key important role in masala production. Now, the Sicilians locally refer to Grillo as Ridu. Grillo itself is named after grilli, which means pips or cricket, and it is a cross between Zibibo or Muscat of Alexandria and Catarato Bianco Lucido. Now, Grillo is called the chameleon because it expresses itself according to the producer's style, winemaking methods, and the terroir within which it grows. Quite similar to, the way Chardonnay would express itself according to those styles. Grillo has two main biotypes that will be Grillo Vecchio and Grillo Nuovo. Grillo Nuovo is the one that is most widely planted in the western part of Sicily, and it is less susceptible to millerlandage, which is, the bunches of the grape having different sizes and so different ripening stages. It grows well in high temperature climates, hence it does well in Sicily, and handles drought well. At the same time, it is still vigorous. However, it is susceptible to sunburn, and so that means that you must have careful canopy management and shade it properly so that it is not overexposed to the sun. And it can also easily achieve high sugar levels and therefore can easily achieve high potential alcohol levels, easily up to even 18% as potential alcohol. Now, for this reason, then, it can easily lose its acidity. So care has to be taken. It has to be washed during summer so that you harvest when there's a balance between the sugar levels as well as the acidity so that you get a good work of freshness or a good work of fresh acidity. Now, in your glass, Grillo most of the time, if it is not made in masala style, then you'll have a straw yellow white wine with a lovely freshness and some notes of apples, citrus, and hints of grass. When it is grown in a warmer climate, the aromas are more exotic and tropical. So you think of some mango, papaya, and even some yellow peaches as well. Now, as I'd mentioned, it plays a huge role in masala production and can produce dry still white wines most of the time. My first experience with Grillo was just recently. I believe that was in the beginning of 2023 when the importer who brings in Doña Fugata was having a portfolio tasting. And the particular one that I tasted was Doña Fugata Susu Grillo. And I was really surprised with the wine. It had this fruitiness and this generosity of fruit, and that was balanced by a very fantastic medium level of acidity. We had some chicken in cream sauce, which really went well with the dish. And so I really liked it as a first experience. Now, within the market, we have obviously Doña Fugata, and recently I saw one from Angelo Wines. So we also have Angelo Grillo that are readily available. Grillo can be quite versatile in the styles of wines that it makes. So you have your dry white wines, you can have the masala white wine, and some benchmark producers that I would suggest to try are obviously Doña Fugata. Does absolutely fantastic Grillo. Feudo Montone is also another one that I've tasted, really fantastic Grillo, as well as Cusumano, which was suggested to me by a friend. I look forward to tasting that one. But then also in terms of when you think of pairing and the kind of dishes that you want to have with your Grillo, when you have sort of like the fresher style of Grillo, I would suggest there's something like caprese salad, or maybe your light pasta dishes such as fusilli al pesto. For the Kenyan market, something that I know most people would have, when you have your ugali, which is maize meal, and then you have collard greens, which we refer to as sukuma wiki, and fried eggs that have been fried in sort of like tomato sauce. That would absolutely be fantastic with a glass of Grillo. And so I say cheers as you go to your wine shop, get a bottle of Grillo and enjoy. Chin chin, everyone.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, chin chin.